All right. For today, Firefighters reading, we have No Dragons for Tea, Fire Safety for Kids, and Dragons. One warm, sunny day at the end of last week, my mom and I went for a walk to the creek. As I raced down the hill in my little red wagon, I veered to the left and smacked into a dragon. I suppose he could see there was fear in my eyes as I jumped to my feet, quite filled with surprise. He sheepishly grinned and stepped out of the way, but he seemed so polite that I asked him to play. He had a cute bear and some other toys too. With my shovel and pail, we'd have oodles to do. We ran to the creek and then onto the bay, where we played on the beach for the rest of the day. Then Mom waved and said, "Now it's time to go eat. Let's pack the red wagon and head up the street." It's hard to stop playing with friends, old or new, so I asked if the dragon could come eat too. Mom wrinkled her brow and squinted her eyes, looking up at the dragon's incredible size. I begged and I pleaded, then said, very sweet, we won't make a mess. We'll be tidy and neat. So at last she said, yes, just this once I'll agree. You may have the dragon come over for tea. We had carrots and apples, thick slices of ham, with fresh homemade biscuits and strawberry jam, cold glasses of milk and great big dill pickle, but the pepper we sprinkled surely made my nose tickle. Then the dragon's nose twitched and started to wheeze as his eyes missed up and he blew out a great sneeze. Achoo! Well, we all know what happens when a dragon achoos. Flames shot out his mouth and from his nostrils too. Our tablecloth sparked and then burst into flame, and the curtains that hung right beside did the same. The smoke alarm rang. What a loud piercing sound. It meant get out fast, so I dropped to the ground. The room filled with smoke as I crawled on the floor and started to make my way to the front door. The dragon got scared and decided to hide, but I knew when there's fire, we must get outside. I grabbed his thick tail and with one mighty tug, I pulled that big dragon from under the rug. I crept down the hallway and said, "Follow me. I know the way out. We must meet by the tree." So my mom and the dragon and I all met there. Then that silly old dragon went back for his bear. We ran and caught him and wouldn't let go. And I said, "Listen, dragon, here's what you should know. Don't ever go back. That just will not do. You can get a new bear, but we can't replace you." Since the fire was burning inside our home, we went to the neighbors to borrow the phone. Mom knew what to dial and said, calm and clear, here's our full street address. Send the fire trucks here. Before very long, down the street they came sailing, with bright red lights flashing and loud sirens wailing. The fire crew rushed to start work on their tasks. They were dressed in boots and wore helmets and masks. They hooked up the hose and ran into the house, where they sprayed streams of water in order to douse the table, the curtains, our lovely snack too, and it didn't take long till the fire was through. The fire chief called out the door with a shout, "The smoke made a mess, but the fire is out." My poor friend, the dragon, knew he was to blame, so he hung down his head and wept great tears of shame. One of the fire crew said, "Don't be sad. You knew what to do, and of that we're quite glad. You all got out safely. That's really what matters." Then she took us to see the big pump and ladders. The dragon put on a shiny red hat, and I asked to see where the fire crew sat. She showed us the siren, the hoses and lights, and the ladders they climb up to reach higher heights. The rest of the crew checked all the rooms, while the fan in the door blew out gray smoke and fumes. Then the dragon and I, we sat down for a while. I reached up and hugged him. He gave me a smile. The next time the dragon and I want to play, we'll pack up a picnic and go to the bay. We are friends, tied and true, the best we can be, but I'll never again invite dragons for tea. The end. So a couple of great things about this book is it talks about emergency drills in the house, which we say Edith. So what we can do to prepare is have a meeting spot. They obviously met outside their house by a tree. So one of the important things is once you meet by that tree is to never go back inside and go get your bear. So we learned our lesson in this book by not letting our dragon go back inside and get his bear, because that's super dangerous. We'll let the firefighters do that. So good job by the kids in this book.